Hi, I'm Lou Rice, Chair of the Department of Medicine at the Warren Alpert Medical School.
And hello, Mukesh Jain. I'm the Senior Vice President for Health Affairs and Dean of Medicine and Biological Sciences at Brown. I would say there's really two major reasons. One is it's very important recognition for the individual. So most of our faculty have expertise, be it in clinical care, research, education, or service to the community. And it's really a way to recognize those contributions. It also does provide an opportunity for career advancement in leadership in academia, be it at the local level or at the national level. The other aspect of academic promotion, very important, is that it helps the institution. So we're only as good as our faculty and our trainees. And when our faculty are excelling, it brings recognition to the institution, and that allows us to recruit the next generation of great faculty and great students.
I think another interesting point is that we all make sacrifices to work in academic institutions, as there are demands on us that there aren't on people who aren't in academic institutions. And this is really one way of the institution rewarding you. It's a real honor to be promoted to an associate professor. That means that you really have been around and proven yourself to be an excellent educator, researcher, whatever the expertise is. And so I think it really is a wonderful feather in the cap for faculty. And frankly, I consider it one of my major jobs to try to facilitate the promotion of all faculty when the time comes and when they have achieved that level. I think there are a number of different ways that people can advance. One way is, at least in large academic medical center, is to try to go up through hospital leadership. These would be roles in quality control folks or chief medical officer, even all the way up to being presidents of the hospital. Frankly, in that situation, it really doesn't, the promotion isn't quite that important. Generally there, you're focusing almost entirely on the clinical side, and it's not going to be critical for you to be at the associate or full professor level. On the other hand, it's different if you want to advance up through the academic side.
Yeah, so I would say from the academic side, if you want to become the head of a division, or like Dr. Rice, you want to become a chair of medicine or a dean of a medical school, there, having gone through the academic promotion process is quite important. Success is measured really through their contributions across some of the major areas that we look at in academia. So the research space, for example, grants, publications, new discoveries on the inner workings of nature that they've advanced. In the education space, it's, how are they as a teacher, and how are the students that they have trained, how do they go on to develop their careers? In the clinical side, it's being an outstanding doctor, and we often talk about the doctor's doctor, the person that a doctor will go to for their own care, and that's really, really critical. And then finally, it's service, and it's service both at the local level as well as the national level. For example, helping in grant reviews at the level of the NIH or foundation, or helping develop young faculty and serving the community that way at the local level.
The point I also want to make, and I try to make to my faculty, is that you don't really have to be spectacular at everything.
Exactly.
And that's really our job as the chairs and the division chiefs. Our job is really to try to emphasize the faculty's strength, promote that strength, give them opportunities to do national service. In addition to grant reviews, if you're not a researcher, you can review articles. Anybody can review articles or become an editorial board member of a journal. We all are part of national societies, and you can get on committees, because there's one important point is that you need national recognition. And so there's a number of different ways of getting national recognition. It's really our job to try to help achieve that national recognition and then put the whole package together. In general, you can do it, the tracks don't necessarily move at the same speed. Sometimes somebody in the research track will be very fast because they get a lot of grants. The flip side of that is if you're in the research track and you really don't achieve a certain level to be an associate professor, you do have to switch tracks. In the clinical track, it's a little harder because you have to build up years worth of teaching. In some ways, you can do it more quickly if you develop curriculum. You're more original that way. But if you're just teaching, it's a lot of years of really good teaching, and that's evaluated by your student evaluations, which are always available after your times on service. So, lots of different ways. Again, it's our job to try to put it together in the best possible way to get our faculty promoted. I had a very honest mentor when I went out to my first job out in Cleveland, and I wanted to be a researcher. So he told me in no uncertain terms, you better write that grant and you better write those publications. So at least in the research track, the advice I would have for people is don't let data sit on your desk if you can publish it, and look for all sorts of new opportunities. I think another thing I would advise any young faculty is if there are opportunities that come up, take them. You know, if you think you can. There's all sorts of jobs, academic jobs, around the medical center that we need people to do, and they can be building blocks.
Mentors are incredibly important, and sadly for me, I lost my mentor right around the time that I was finishing up and starting on faculty, but I had great adopted mentors, if you will, and some of them were a few years ahead of me, but that had gone through the process, had become associate professors. It was very fresh in their mind, and they were able to convey, you know, the critical elements that you needed to achieve for the promotion process. So I would say I had adopted mentors. Some were just a few years ahead of me, and then some were senior, akin to what, you know, Lou described for his experience.
One of the things I'm most proud of is being a professor of medicine. It's really a high honor and an acknowledgement of the hard work that I've done. I usually give the privilege of telling our faculty to the division chief because they do so much work to get their faculty promoted too. But when I hear back from Shelley Sear that the committee has passed it and the dean, et cetera, and provost and president have to approve it, but it's like it's going to go through, that's about the happiest phone call I make. I really love that. I love to see people advance in the faculty ranks.
And I would, hard to add much to what Lou said, and I would just echo everything he said. It's the most important thing that we can do as leaders is to facilitate, support our faculty. And I just come back to you're only as good as the people in your organization, and our faculty are the heart and soul of an academic institution.
I hope this has been useful. We wish you all luck in your efforts at promotion, and we are here to help you with whatever you need.
Yeah, and not much to add. Great to do this with you, Lou. We've, over the course of our careers, have seen a lot of promotions, a lot of promotion applications and dossiers, as they're called. And I would just echo, we're here to help. It's an important process. It's really most important to reward you for all the hard work you do, and we're here to facilitate that.